Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you the best of three from round two of the 100% No Up+A category for the Battle of Hyrule 2 tournament between the Third Extent and johntabin. And I will now pass it over to our commentator for today's race, Mr. Dunlow. Take it away.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be a fun one. We've got a best of three series, 100% Zelda 1 vanilla. This should be a really good matchup. The Third Extent's personal best in the category is a 37. John's personal best is a 38. And in a race, anything can happen. It's going to be a fun one. I'm ready. Let's go. So if you're unfamiliar with the 100% category, the runners have to pick up every item in the game. So they'll start with the sword. Just kidding, you pick up the sword and everything except swordless. The general route will look pretty similar to any percent at the beginning. If you're familiar with the 3 first any percent route, and then they might vary their path from there. But yeah, let's just see what happens in game one. The big thing to look out for is the boss manhandler here, and who can navigate that fight, and we'll see how it goes. They're both very good runners, so we'll see. Tabin's going top route here. You can go either top route or bottom route. Bottom route requires a bomb drop or clearing the entire room for the floor drop, like Third Extent had to do there. John had Keith to clear up top. So I guess top route's a little more walking, but it's safe. And then they'll both try to get bomb here as well. Third's got a pretty big bomb lead right now, but John's first to the raft. John does have the floor drop dark nut room that I guess we'll go with third. Third Extent is a lot of syllables to say every time. Maybe 3X would be a cool name. I'm trying to figure out a cool way to shorten it. But yeah, John might have to stop and get these. Well, he will have to stop and get some bombs here. So that'll pretty much tie him back up. And now they're tied in bombs and just seconds apart. This is going to be a close race. Manhandler could swing things for one runner if one of them has problems here. Both runners do a nice job of utilizing pause strats. And they are out of here. We got a good one. It has stayed close so far. That was the first big inflection point, and both of these runners said, nah, we're ready. You're going down, manhandler. The two big points in level 4 are really also the same as the any percent run. And I keep referring back to that category because if you watch Zelda 1, a lot of the runs are any percent. But yeah, the two big things to watch out for here are bomb management coming up in the ladder room, and then the Gliok fight on 4 hearts. Good runners can get through it, but it's a big old dragon to clear on low hearts with a wood sword. Takes 16 hits to get him. 3X gets bomb drop in there. That's nice. 3X sounds alright. Might just go with third. One slight difference is they can usually, after the ladder clip here, with a 100% route, you can usually afford to go a little quicker path here after the rupee boss and just bomb to the right. In any percent, a lot of runners bomb up in the room that we just saw third in to go get an extra key, but here they're going to have to pick up the magical key, so keys aren't as tight in like level 7, because we do 7 after 8. Third extent makes that Gliok fight look way easier than I claimed it would be. John's gonna have to be a little slick here with a heart and a half, but he's gotta get 5 more hits, using some pause strats again. Nicely done. So yeah, third extent's gonna be a little ahead on time coming out of 4. Johntabin's a little ahead on bombs, and resources always matter in Zelda 1, but these runners have ways to make things happen. One thing you'll notice is part of the 100%, it's not just every item, it's every heart container. So neither of them will route in a free potion. You can go get the letter, buy yourself a potion in this category. That may be something that one or both of them works in here, but because they have to go up in that corner for money anyway, but it is a little bit of a time sink, and then you actually have to spend the money to buy the potion. But in a race, I could see even these sub 40 runners justifying that pickup, but also they know the opponent's fast, so we'll just have to see what they do here. Third extent not getting bomb drops yet, but there are bombs in level 2. The only difference in level 2 is the room that third extent on the left side is entering now. It's kind of a sneaky, difficult room, but he's got a good amount of hearts, because you do have to pick up, that was the magic boomerang that spawned right under where he was standing. So you are required to get the magic boomerang, but not the wood one. Basically, for items like that, you're required to get the highest level of the item, if that makes sense. Like, you're required to get the red candle, for example. You're required to get the blue boomerang, but they don't have to go get the wood boomerang. You just have to finish with the blue one. Nice bomb there to kill most of those Gorilla by third extent. Dodongo playing some good defense. For those of you that don't know me, he is my favorite boss in Zelda 1. And he's just such a peaceful dinosaur, just walking around in well, not really circles, he's just walking around in squares. Good bomb drop for John there too. You don't need to walk for that one. That's just kind of instinct, I think. Quicker Dodongo. Yeah, pretty solid 2 there for both runners. And they will be playing a best of 3. So after this match, one of them will take a 1-game lead, and then they'll run it back for game 2, and we might even see a game 3 this morning or whatever time zone you're in. We're all over the world here. Yeah, Dodongo is completely just chilling in that room. 100%. And Link comes in and, yeah, Link just slaughters him. You could definitely write a narrative here where Link is the bad guy. You know, and he's sticking his nose in the business of Hyrule. And Ganon's just, you know, he's trying to get, so, I mean, the whole, like, putting her in a ring of fire, presumably against her will, is kind of hard to justify. So maybe it'd be more of like a, I don't know, like a Cobra Kai situation where you realize the bad guy, yeah, he did some bad stuff, but, you know, he's just a misguided guy who placed all these enemies in dungeons, including Dodongo. He probably gave Dodongo instructions to attack Link, and Dodongo's like, I'm just not that type of guy. Yeah, maybe she was cold. Yeah, that could be the Ganon viewpoint. Yeah, exactly. Dodongo is not actively pursuing violence. I mean, really, the only violence in the Dodongo encounter is all caused by Link. He's just walking where he's going to... Dodongo's going where he's going to go anyway, and if Link gets in the way, that's kind of on him, you know? It's kind of like jaywalking and getting hit by a moving car, you know? It's like, he's like, hey, I'm walking in squares over here, man. I've got the recorder room coming up here, which that looks way different than the any percent route, where runners come in here and really are in jeopardy of running out of bombs. But here they have to buy the bomb upgrade anyway, and they've got these keys where they can come in with a good count. The Bart versus Lisa analogy is literally perfect for Dodongo. You know, I'm just walking here, and if you get hit, that's on you. John does a good job there of leaving those bombs behind that drop from the Gibdo, because that was a drop attached to the room. And he had 8 bombs anyway, but he'll have those on the way back. Very nice bombs by Third Extent here. Wow. Yeah, coming out of that room with 10 bombs is an excellent feeling. John gets a good first one, too. Gets the bomb drop there as well. And he'll go get it before it goes away. Not bad there. I mean, you could really say the same thing about Dark Nuts as the Dodongo principle. They are also just walking around. You can't justify Wizrobes. Like, Wizrobes are shooting beams at you, but yes, the Dark Nuts do have a sword, but I've never seen one put one, you know, they don't put the sword down, so they may not even have the ability to lay down their weapons. It could be attached to their armor that Ganon's required them to wear. It's, you know, it's not their fault. They're just going to work every day. Oh, and I was rambling philosophical and didn't even realize that John is getting the upgrade after. That's cool. So they are both going to have plenty of bombs. That's cool. When he came in with the full 8, he was able to save the upgrade for after the Dark Nut fight. Got Dig Dogger coming up here, who once again is just floating around in a room. You know, I don't know what the deal with Dig Dogger is. If, like, that's an outer shell of armor, or if the bomb makes Dig Dogger shrink, or if there's, like, a little dogger inside a big Dig Dogger. It's tough to say what's going on there, but the third extent does a good job of handling the room, getting out of there at about 14:55, so we'll see what the margin is. If I had to spitball, I'd say it'd be somewhere around 30 seconds, which is going to be a margin that could be very easily overcome. Races often come down to if something goes bad for one runner, who can get out of a jam or who can take advantage of it. And both of these runners are experienced, they know what they're doing. Johntabin is big on racing. He is one of the people that drives the Zelda 1 vanilla racing scene. He and Random Effect used to always run weekly races on Sundays and try to drum up participation, but they were the two that were kind of, you know, always there. It's closer to 45 seconds, 50 seconds, but there's going to be a nasty blue Goma in level 8. Level 8 is already difficult in any percent, but it's only like, 2 or 3 minutes long. And here we're going to add in a blue Goma that they're required to kill. They have to walk and get the book, which is a spot where you can take damage. They're even required to pick up the book, even though it's a worthless item pretty much. Yeah, you'll see they'll get this level 1 done on a ton of hearts, and then they're going to scoot up in the direction of the magical sword, where they have to battle the Wizrobes of level 6, and they're flying through this thing. This is great. You also notice that they have enough keys to not have to care about pirouetting the door at the entrance of level 1, which is the trick that can save you a key if you exit the dungeon, and then quickly re-enter. But they just walk up there and unlock the door. I guess Aquamenus is attempting to kill Link with his fireballs. He's just not very good at it. That's why Ganon stuck him in level 1. He's like, alright, I'm gonna put the unicorn dragon thing that shoots inaccurate fireballs in the first level, and then the wandering dinosaur in the second one, and then really ramps it up with Manhandla in level 3. You know, Manhandle is shooting out fireballs and just running around looking like a crazy piranha plant, going all willy-nilly. The skills on the team of bad guy bosses definitely improved by level 3 and 4. And third extent's going to buy arrows, which he'll need to kill the Goma boss in level 6. And that's a nice smooth place to pick him up on the route. Oh, they gotta get the power bracelet too. That's another one you don't see often, any percent. Third extent dropped a bomb on that Armo statue. I don't know if that was on a 10 count, and he's gonna get a drop here, or if that was just because he has plenty of bombs and wanted to make sure the Armos didn't hit him. I'll have to see what he's up to here. Third extent takes one bop in what we call the belfry here with the bats. I don't know if that drastically ruins the bomb drop plan in here. I mean, they've got 8 anyway. Oh, and he gets the global, so it's whatever. Nice bomb there to do damage on 2 blue wizards. That was a really good room by the third extent. This is our wand room here, which adds some extra difficulty to level 6. But the third extent makes short work of it, comes out with full health. Gets a cool sword swipe there during the wand pickup animation. You see people do that as a swag move sometimes, but that one actually hit a keys and killed it, so that was cool. Third extent is just putting on a clinic of how to do level 6 fast and not take damage. That's what's hard for, like, I would consider myself like a mid-level vanilla runner, and maybe that's even ranking myself too highly. But for me, level 6 is hard to avoid damage and go fast. It's like I can usually either do one or the other, but you're seeing here that you can go fast and come out with full health, which is going to avoid refill time. Alright, John's got the wand room here. He'll have a pretty good plan. Good bombs. They all got... When you drop a bomb in here, it's really good if you can get multiple Wizrobes damaged. Yeah, he crushed that too. That looked really good. Third extent's going to put the power bracelet to work here, because we got to get down to this coast to pick up this heart. And I would imagine we will see a large secret pickup here. Well, I'm not extremely familiar with both of these runners, 100% routes, but it would be silly not to grab it while you're right here, because he still has to purchase bait for the Hungry Guria in level 7. Yeah, they're only 23 minutes in. This is excellent. Their PBs are third extent's a 37.28, and John's a 38.53. And in the qualifying rounds, their race times for the tournament, John had a 40.04, possibly 09. I wrote it down earlier and had pretty poor handwriting, but he got just over a 40. And third extent is at 37.39. All right, so we're going into level 8 here. This becomes interesting because there's extra bosses they have to fight. You have to kill a manhandler here. And where that creates a problem with the extra manhandler is, or the reason for that problem is, we have to get this silly old book here. And then they have to walk back through these rooms, which is a spot where if you're not prepared for this route or this speed run, it's really easy to take multiple hearts of damage real quick if you combine Manhandla and potentially running into one of those Gibdos or Dark Nuts. But third extent's just making this look way easier than it is. Yeah, it is vanilla. This is our Battle for Hyrule tournament that we have going on right now. It's a vanilla tournament. We're in the bracket stage, and this category is 100% No Up+A. We also have an any percent division, a swordless division, and a second quest division. So it's a pretty cool tournament because you could enter whatever categories you wanted to. Like me, for example, I like swordless and did any percent, but I wasn't going to touch this one where you have to get all the items. But some people feel that way about swordless. Okay, so third extent here has this Dark Nut room, good fairy drop. That's his second one in level 8. And he's going to get maybe all of them cleared. Yeah, probably all of them. Because he's got to go up through that bomb hole. And he's got to deal with a blue Goma here. Yeah, no problem, of course. He bombs that manhandler just for, like, safety. Alright, so this blue Goma fight's fun. You got to hit him 3 times. And the dream here is a 1 cycle where the Goma's eye never closes and you can get all 3 shots in. He was pretty close with that spawn. Probably wanted it, but you got a 2 cycle, which is not disastrous by any means in a race. You can 3 or 4 cycle that Goma in a hurry if it does a little dodging or something. And John comes out of the book room with full health as well. Basically, level 8 is a Manhandla, 2 blue Dark Nut fights, the blue Goma, and Gliok. The function of the book in vanilla is it adds fire to the wand, which maybe back in the day seemed cool in a casual run. I never thought it was cool when I was a kid, but definitely now, I think a lot of runners hold the philosophy that it does more harm than good, because the fire is more likely to hurt you than it is to help you, like literally. Alright, John's doing some good work on these Dark Nuts here, as the third extent gets ready to battle a Gliok, but he's got a magic sword and a decent amount of health. He'll be alright, I think. John's got to stop running into Dark Nuts. There we go. And the third extent also avoided a trap there in this category, which is in any percent, a lot of the faster runners would never go get the heart after killing that Gliok, just because it adds more time than it's generally worth when you reach a certain skill level, but he remembers to go back and get the heart. Because if they mess up any of the requirements for 100%, it's not like a time penalty, it's like a you don't win penalty. I guess disqualification would be the real word. Okay, yeah, cool for 5 minutes with the wand. I could see that. I have pretty vivid memories of playing this game back in the day. But I don't remember. I can't even confirm I ever went over there and got the book. I might have just headed straight up. Who knows? I've done a lot of living since then. Yeah, so third extent's gonna get that 100 secret because we have to buy 1 more upgrade, which is one of the things that makes a level 9 a little smoother. 3 fairies there by johntabin. I bet he had counted that out. That's something you can do in this room to increase your health. And he didn't need full health. He's like, I got enough now to survive. I'm good. Yeah, walking around and shooting fire is certainly fun. The big moment I remember freaking out about was finding level 7. Because there is the hint that's like, there are secrets where fairies don't live, but you know. I was born in 84, so I was probably playing this when I was like 6 maybe. I didn't like decipher that hint. I was like, cool, there's secrets everywhere in this game, and fairies only live in 2 places. I didn't realize they were implying like, oh, the one empty lake. Yeah, shout out 84. Like, it's a good year, man. I mean, George Orwell thought it was going to be a bad year, but whatever. What did that guy know? He was way off. His prediction was off by decades. Oh yeah, I know, Jess. I just had mine. Mine was on Quattro de Mayo. So now I've officially become more mature and refined and everything else. I was actually conveniently born one day before the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They debuted on May 5th, 84. Okay, yeah, 80. Shout out, shout out. 79, shout out. That's what's up. 86 might not be the baby. You're tied with the game they're playing. That was also born in 86. Yeah, you got about 2 weeks for immaturity. I mean, Blink 182 said no one was going to like you if you were immature at the age of 23, but we've already surpassed that. So I think we can surpass 42. I think we'll be all good. Level 7 is smooth sailing, by the way, with a magic sword. They have a magic sword and a magic key, and all 6 swag bomb by John coming into the old guy here. Oh yeah, for sure. You can be. I mean, I don't know. I could get into the fact that the societal definition of maturity is somewhat flawed. I don't think digging video games makes you immature. And I'm probably just preaching to the choir based on the broadcast y'all are watching, but I feel like if you're a responsible, good human, that's true maturity. And there's plenty of business people that scoff at video games that don't have that level of zen. Oh, look at the gray on this. So that was an intentional move by Third Extent there. Dropping the bomb in the staircase gives you that gray screen. They're just trying to put on a show. They're like, all right, I don't know what time zone the chat's in today, but you know, a lot of us are in the morning, potentially, depending on where you live, and they're like, you know what? They appreciate the people for coming out, keeping the scene alive. Third Extent's heading to 9 already. This is wild. This is so fast. Yeah, it's a pretty early race. I mean, it could be late, depending on where you are. Dude, stuffed animals are dead. Don't even get me started on my action figures, too. They're like works of art these days. You look at the stuff like NECA and Mezco are creating, and they're also just opening the door for purchases from people that can afford it, you know. See, that's cool. I like hanging on to the classic stuff. I still use the same Nintendo that I played on as a kid. It was my great aunt's. She probably got it in like 89. I fixed it up a little bit, but she would be flabbergasted that I play Zelda on the internet and people watch it. She'd be watching every time, man. Oh, Transformers are dope. Okay, we're in 9. Yeah, the Third Extent's in the go fast zone for sure. There's a couple little troublesome spots here where you don't want to take damage before the red ring, but it's just like a block clip basically in a room with Wizrobes. He's come out with full health in way tougher situations so far this race. And Tabin's doing fine here. Like, he's probably on like mid 40 pace. They're both going to smash my first time in the any percent qualifier race for this tournament. Oh yeah, the Ninja Turtles Playmates toys, their missing extremities are, I think, a common thing. For me, it's the accessories. Like, I got a bunch of Michelangelos, but there ain't a nunchuck in sight from back in the day. Okay, and that's a damage spot. So third does take 2 hearts there off that Patra. And then you have this room you have to get through, where I would have probably been hit twice. Then you have the block clip here, where I'd take 4 to 6 hearts of damage. And now he's got the red ring. So the red ring, how could we say this? It quadruples your defense, I guess. Or it cuts the damage in the force. So the stuff that usually does 4 hearts of damage, like a Wizard Beam, only does 1 heart now. Oh, the old Game Genie. Yeah, we should do a Game Genie percent category. It's actually pretty fun. Okay, third extent's gonna do something smart here. And in vanilla, the runners are allowed to watch their opponents. Hopefully they muted commentary, because God only knows what I've said. But I usually watch my opponent's stream, not the restream, because I don't want to hear like what the comms has to say about whatever dumb stuff I've done. But yeah, third extent, I think probably knows he had a little bit of a lead, killed that Patra with a red ring to get 4 extra bombs. He might have done that anyway, but in a PB attempt, he probably would have flown right through that. And yet, the red ring is really close to invincible. In like a rando seed, you can still get got if you pick up the red ring with low hearts and act like you're invisible. But here they have, I mean, if you really look at it theoretically, third extent's got 10 hearts. But if we quadrupled the defense, third extent's really got 40 hearts here if you were on green tunic. So yeah, we're good here. We're just going to the finish line. He's got 7 bombs to play with in this room, because you need 2 after this room. And he gets a clock, so he's going to use 0 bombs. That's nice. Yeah, iframes are clutch. You can bump into, I mean, when you got red ring, you can bump into something that does almost no damage and then just run through. We even saw John leave a bomb on the floor there because he knows he's good. He knows he's just running. Johntabin's rooting for a disaster for third extent, but he's smart enough to know that's improbable at this point. So really all you can do in his position is just go fast. That's kind of the name. I mean, they call it speed running. Makes sense. Excellent bomb by John, though. Got all 3 Wizards. Got Fairy now. They're both playing very well in this race. They would be destroying me right now. And we are, after game 1 here, going to take just a short break, depending on how long the runners need to collect themselves real quick, and then they're going to run it back for game 2. So it's going to be a quick turnaround here. So if you're hanging with us now, stay tuned. Again, don't close that tab. How can we say it? I don't know. There's not a dial to touch. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Bubbles are giving John some trouble here just with the slowdown. All right, we've got a Ganon fight. Here's Ganon, as they say, with 32 hearts worth of defense. I think Ganon would have to hit him. He'd have to take 8 Ganon hugs to die here. And that was improbable. Nice time. Wow, he's going to go sub 39 here. That's really good. Yeah, get your GGs out for the third extent, taking down game 1. Really good time. And yeah, John's gonna probably hit like 40 something here. The sub 40 is sort of out the window. That would be cool if he got his sub 40 in game 2 or 3, because he's close on the PB. But yeah, he's had some little things happen that I'm sure he's probably annoyed by, but overall he's navigated this run very well. But yeah, that's one of the perilous things about racing hundo, is it becomes a little hard to catch up in the end game. Once the opponent gets to the red ring, it's like, oh man, what am I going to do here? Let's see that. He's going to try to do Fast Patra. Just get in there and tank it. It worked, I think. Alright, here's Ganon. Come on, Ganon, go left here. We're looking for him to go left after the first stab and just have a nice smooth stun lock. Ah, jerk. What are you doing, Ganon? Oh, boomerangs him. I'm going to call that a swag move. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I thought it looked cool. Just smack him with the boomerang a little bit. And Johntabin's coming in the mid 40 range. Get your GGs out. Good runs by both players. Yeah, so we will see here an approximate break time, or if there's going to literally reset and run it back pretty close. The runners have already opened their race room for race 2.